Right now, in any hospital in the world, there are doctors, nurses, monitors, painkillers, and at least 3 people in the room. And still, it is one of the most terrifying moments in a woman's life. For 300,000 years, every human on Earth was born without a doctor, no hospital, often almost no witnesses. In the forest, in a cave, on the open steppe. And here is the stranger part. The babies did not cry. Today, you will learn how this happened, and by the end, I will tell you something that will change the way you see modern motherhood. Let's start with what most people get completely wrong. Ancient women did not give birth completely alone, but not the way we imagine it either. Anthropologist Wenda Trevathan spent decades studying childbirth in traditional societies around the world, from the Amazon to Africa. Her finding? In almost every culture, 1 or 2 women from the tribe were present at birth, not as doctors, as witnesses. This is an important distinction. They did not interfere, they were simply present, holding a hand, sometimes helping receive the child. But the process itself, the body did everything on its own. The position was different too, not lying on the back like today, vertically, squatting, holding a branch or a stone. Gravity worked for the woman, not against her. Modern obstetricians know this position is physiologically superior, but hospitals are built for the doctor's convenience, not the mother's. Births were faster, complications were fewer, not because they were stronger, but because they did not fight their own bodies. A body giving birth in darkness did exactly what it was designed to do. Millions of years of selection built a precise algorithm into that body. 10,000 generations. Each generation, experience. That knowledge lived not in books. It lived in the bodies of women. How to breathe, how to hold the body, where to find support. No panic, no isolation in a sterile room. Only silence, darkness, and a woman beside her. This is how it's done for 300,000 years. And it worked. But the main question, why without crying? That is next. And now, the main question from the thumbnail. Why did the babies not cry? Think about where these births took place. At night, in the forest, 100 meters from where leopards lived, hyenas, cave lions. A loud cry from a newborn is a signal. To a predator, it is the sound of vulnerable prey that cannot run. Neuroscientist Dadian Wiley studied the reflexes of newborn primates and discovered something important. Every primate infant, chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutans, has a cry suppression reflex. Until they feel safe, silence. This is not a coincidence. This is evolution. Human newborns have this reflex too, but we switch it off with blinding light, with cold air, with unfamiliar hands, with metal instruments. The first thing a modern newborn feels? Blinding light and cold. Its body interprets this as a threat, and it cries. The ancient newborn entered darkness and warmth. Into the arms of a mother it already knew by scent for 9 months. Its nervous system said, safe. And it was silent. A silence that was not weakness. It was protection. For 300,000 years, this silence saved lives. Until the moment we decided to turn on the lights. The birth was over, but the ritual continued. And this is where it gets into territory most people never talk about. The umbilical cord was not cut immediately. Anthropologists who studied dozens of traditional cultures, from Amazon tribes to Siberian peoples, documented the exact same pattern. The cord was tied and bitten through with teeth by the mother or by the woman beside her. Not because there were no tools, because it was a conscious choice, immediate, warm, without metal. Modern science has confirmed delaying cord cutting by several minutes allows the baby to receive up to 30% more blood from the placenta. Iron, stem cells, immune factors. The ancients knew nothing of biochemistry, but they did it right. In most cultures, the placenta was buried. Sometimes it was eaten. This sounds wild, but the placenta contains oxytocin and hormones that suppress postpartum depression. Animals do this instinctively. Humans did too. Until recently. The birth was over, but that was not all. After the birth, something else happened. Something that in the modern world would be called cruelty. But then is a survival norm. There is something that happened after birth, something the modern world would call cruelty. But then it was a norm of survival. That in a moment. Here is a fact that is hard to accept. Not every newborn was allowed to live. In conditions of constant movement, the tribe covered dozens of kilometers every week. A child with severe physical impairments meant a threat to the entire group. The mother could not carry it and survive at the same time. The group could not slow down. Anthropologist Sarah Blaffer-Hrdy, who studied maternal behavior in dozens of traditional societies, describes this not as cruelty, but as an impossible choice, under impossible circumstances. This does not mean ancient people were without feeling. The evidence of the opposite is everywhere. In Shanidar Cave in Iraq, the skeleton of a Neanderthal infant was found buried with flowers and ochre. Someone loved that child enough to perform a ritual. They grieved. They simply could not afford the luxury of saving everyone. We can. And that is one of the true miracles of the modern world. We have simply forgotten to be amazed by it. The same act, two completely different worlds. And now, the most unexpected turn in this video. Modern research shows cortisol levels, the stress hormone, in newborns during the first minutes in a hospital are comparable to those of an adult in a car crash. The first thing most people on Earth feels is acute stress. The ancient newborn entered darkness and warmth, heard the mother's voice. Its nervous system in the first second said, "I am home." Ours hears the monitor beep and feels the cold of surgical gloves. We made birth safer. That is a fact. Mortality dropped by hundreds of times. That is a victory. But we made the first second of life louder, colder, and more frightening than it had ever been in the entire history of our species. For 300,000 years, every human on Earth began life in darkness and silence, in the scent of their mother, in the warmth of someone's hands. No monitors, no bright lights, no metal. And the first thing it heard was not its own cry, but the voice of a person who already loved it. We did not lose this because we began weaker or worse. We lost it because we chose survival, and we were right to do so. But somewhere between the operating room and the incubator, something disappeared that has no medical term. Silence at the beginning of life. And most of us have never heard it. The hospital has saved billions of lives, but it made the first second of life the lowest in all of human history. Is this progress or loss? Write in the comments.